If you're running meta ads for an e-commerce business right now, your ad creative is more important than you might think. Meta has automated a lot of the other elements of sales campaigns, and that makes your ad creative one of the few areas where you can really win and beat your competitors. In this video, I'm going to break down real meta ad creative from e-commerce businesses. We'll look at what works, what doesn't, and most importantly, explain why, so that you can stop guessing and start building ad creative that actually converts. Okay, so the ad creatives I'm going to be going through today are all ones that my team have found in the meta ad library. These aren't ads that I've seen before, so I'm reacting to them fresh, and they're not ads that we've created. We felt we could get a broader range of things that were good, bad, and everything in between if we did it this way, and that would be most valuable. So this first one is from Holy Gels, obviously going to be nail related. Looking at the thumbnail on the video, it is a video, it's 18 seconds long. Let's go ahead and give this a watch.
Wait, did no one tell you this is the only kit that actually replaces a salon? Yes, really. It takes under 10 minutes, lasts over 2 weeks, and costs less than half a salon visit. No damage when you remove it. Just stronger, healthier nails every time. I'm not kidding. Over 200,000 people have already switched. You're seriously missing out.
Okay. Interesting. So there's some really strong points that I can see immediately, right? So firstly, whoever's putting this together has really thought about this hook, how the video starts. And the hook's really important. That initial scene, it's what either grabs people's attention or doesn't. And if you don't grab people's attention, they're not going to hear about your offer. They're certainly not going to convert. So for any ad creative, any video to do well, it has to do that in the first place. So there's a few elements to this hook that are good. Firstly, they've incorporated movement. That's going to help grab people's attention. You can see there's like tapping on the nail. Secondly, the wording used, wait, did you know, both, that you could hear that in the audio, but also it's included in captions, is again something that's likely to grab people's attention. Like if someone comes up to you and be like, wait, did you not know about, immediately you're paying attention to that person who's saying that to you. So they thought about the hook, and I think that's pretty good. Let's just go through that again.
Wait, did no one tell you this is the only kit that actually replaces a salon? Yes, really.
And then they've kept up the pace. The movement is fast with the fact they're putting on these gels onto the nail and then it's getting cut round to the edges. So I think that's pretty good. I think that's done quite well. You've got the tapping on the nail followed by the movement, the wait, did no one tell you? And then they immediately are getting into the value of what it is they're offering. Did no one tell you that this is the kit that actually replaces a salon? So you're immediately positioning this as an alternative to going to a nail salon, and then people will be able to see from the rest of the ad and stuff like that, but people will then assume, well, this is going to be much less expensive then. I can save myself some money. I can save myself some time. So the value of the offer is already getting in whilst it's being demonstrated in a video format.
It takes under 10 minutes, lasts over 2 weeks, and
takes under 10 minutes. Lasts over 2 weeks with benefits associated with the product.
costs less than half a salon visit.
Costs less than half a salon visit. And it's just what I was saying.
No damage when you remove it. Just stronger.
No damage when you remove it. That might be an objection. That might be a concern that people have around similar products. So they're getting that in there.
Healthier nails every time.
Just healthier nails every time. Again, that's kind of overcoming objection and reinforcing the value provided by the product.
Not kidding. Over 200,000 people.
That I'm not kidding, and then a break over 2,000. Sounds like the voice is probably done by AI with that in there. That could be a little bit better. Just felt a little bit jarring.
People have already switched. You're seriously missing out.
Over 200,000 people have already switched. You're seriously missing out. Getting some social proof in there. We know that if you look at reviews, testimonials, massive number of people have used this, people are more likely to go with it. They feel like it's a less risky purchase. Or if 200,000 people have already done it, easier for me to go do it. The pacing of the video is good throughout, so there's constant little cuts and demonstrations of how the product works going on. So it's not just cutting between stuff and having that sort of fast-paced edit for the sake of it. It's also relevant to what's being offered. This is only an 18-second video, and a lot of information is shared, a lot of sales points, a lot of benefits about what it is they're selling, overcoming some objections, including some information about the offer, why it should work. So I think they've done a decent job. For me, it's a little bit cheesy, a bit salesy, almost a bit sleazy.
Wait, did no one tell you this is the only kit that actually...
wait, did no one tell you? For me, that's a little bit over the top. And whilst that might work really well for generating sales in the short run, that's going to hurt your brand in the long run if you're trying to position yourself as premium in particular. I'm getting the impression this business isn't. They're trying to be like, look, this is a cheap, quick, and easy way to do it instead of the more expensive, time-consuming way, in which case it's going to hurt their brand much less, if at all, because of that's how they're positioning. But that's just something that I would potentially look to change, and I would be looking to test this in amongst other ads. If we can have other ads that don't lean quite as heavily into that sort of clickbaitiness, as it were, that engagement baitiness at the beginning, and they can still perform well or close to as well as this one, I would rather go with other ones that have less of a brand risk, but I would still expect this to perform well. If we go through.
Yes, really. It takes under 10 minutes, lasts over 2 weeks, and costs less than half a salon visit. No damage when you remove it. Just stronger, healthier nails every time. I'm not kidding. Over 200...
Again, I'm not kidding. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. I just think it's over the top, right? But I could see it working well from a performance, particularly from a direct response standpoint, in terms of generating sales in the short run. Might be slightly painful, slightly harmful, I should say, over the long run to the brand. But it depends on their objectives. This might be a business that's very much in it for the short run. And it is within an industry where you can get away with that sort of language, that sort of messaging a bit more than you can within others. In general, it is a good ad. I think there are lots of elements they've done really well. I'd probably like to see a little bit more of a stronger call to action at the end. Let's have a look at that.
You've already switched. You're seriously missing out.
Yeah, that end part, you're seriously missing out, and it's just like a little bit of a scroll. That end part could probably be a little stronger. Is it backed up by, buy two, get one free? Okay, they've got some information around the product in here, shop now button. I just think that at the end of that video, they could have been more clear on the call to action. Like, click the button, come through, either in an audio, like you could hear that, or just have it appear on text for half a second right at the end, just to make that call to action a little bit more concrete. But I'd still rank that ad as a pretty good one. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So this one's from, Bear Grylls is coming from his page. And this is for his Water 2, which is his water filter company. So I'm familiar with the brand, but haven't seen this ad before. Let's go ahead and give this a watch.
Okay, so that is the water filter installed. Job done. Took me about 4 minutes. Even if you're not very good at DIY, this is not going to take you longer than 10. It's pretty simple, trust me.
If you're tired of stocking up your fridge full of bottled water, then we have the perfect solution. According to Good Food, Water 2 is the best under-sink water filter. This is the last water filter you'll ever need to buy.
Okay, very interesting. Right, so I would not expect Bear Grylls to be a meta ad creative expert, but I would say he's working with people that know what they're doing, because again, there are some really good elements within this. So we've got a visual hook right at the beginning, right? So this is the opening scene. We're sort of looking, you can see Bear Grylls' face a bit. We're sort of in the sink behind the filter. So there's a lot of dynamic movement right at the beginning. Maybe you could speed that up to the point where he could get talking faster, but I think there's also recognition from him. That's probably part of the reason why I see this company's ad creative all the time. I imagine they're putting a huge amount of budget behind it. Having him involved is a huge deal. Remember, we talked about one of the most important things for an ad creative to do is stop the scroll, grab people's attention in the first place, or having someone on there that people recognize, a great way to do that. Now, I'm assuming he's part of this company, as in he's a part owner, as opposed to being like a paid influencer. And you don't have to necessarily go with someone who has as large an audience as Bear Grylls does, but I'm a big fan of using influencers, creators in your ad creative to help stop the scroll. You can do it with people that have much smaller followings, and if their following is relevant to the people that you're looking to reach, can make a really big difference to your hook rate, which is just the percentage of people that stick around for longer than 3 seconds. So I like the movement right at the beginning. It's a good couple of seconds before we start to say anything, so that could maybe be sped up, but I'm nitpicking a little bit there. Let's see what it has to say at the beginning.
Okay, so that is the water filter installed. Job done.
So we started with talking about, okay, that is the water filter installed. So almost this ad is being positioned as one that is being put in front of people that are already aware of the product. Now, that might not be a bad assumption because I am aware of this product. I've seen their ads. And because of that, they haven't necessarily started with the benefits associated with it or explaining what it is. They're actually starting by overcoming an objection that people might have around it, which you can do more to warm audiences, less to cold audiences, but this may well be positioned at warm audiences, in which case that makes sense, right? So he's talking about the installation being easy and quick.
Took me about 4 minutes. Even if you're not very good at DIY, this is not going to take you longer than 10. It's pretty simple, trust me.
Okay, so overcome the objection. He's also trying to, like, the tone is very friendly. It's very like, oh, Bear Grylls is my friend and he's recommending this thing. Like, you'll be fine. You can get it installed. It's nice and easy. So I quite like the tone there. That's done quite well. And I feel like that is appropriate for his personal brand and the people that know who he is and follow him.
If you're tired of stocking up your fridge full of bottled water, then we have the perfect solution.
Actually, so interesting. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if the next part is body of a video ad that's being used across multiple different creatives, and then that intro they're testing out different, I can't really call it a hook because it lasted 15 seconds, so a hook would normally be shorter than that, but they're testing out different beginnings, which is something I'd recommend because it makes your ad go that much further, right? You can create lots of different beginnings or hooks, combine that with just a handful of main bodies of your ads, and your ads can go a lot further, and you might find ones that perform a lot better. And that opening part to your ad creative is by far the most important. And then we get to the rest of it.
Fridge full of bottled water, then we have the perfect solution.
Yeah, that's more of like the start of an ad you would expect to go out to cold audiences. Who are they targeting? We're targeting people that are already drinking bottled water as opposed to tap water primarily. And he's saying if you're sick of constantly putting bottled water in your fridge, that's the call out, that's the audience they're looking to target with this. We have the perfect solution.
According to Good Food, Water 2 is the best under-sink water filter.
So that's great. According to Good Food, Water 2, so they're using validation from an external source to increase the credibility around their claims that this water filter is great, because they're saying, look, this recognizable name has said this is great and this is what you should use and we've got the best option. They've also cut from the fridge, so they went from that initial scene to the fridge back to this. The movement is good, it changes up the scenes, holds people's attention as you're going through. He's going through the installation process of whatever he's doing with this sink to help hold people's attention.
This is the last water filter you'll ever need to buy.
Quite like that claim. This is the last water filter you'll ever need to buy. Again, overcoming a potential objection. Oh, if I buy this, do I have to replace it every whatever? Which is good. And then it ends. I think the ending, kind of like the previous one, the ending could be stronger. What's the offer here? Are you running any sort of deal, any sort of promotion? It's easy for us in the marketing space to assume that everyone knows, oh, once I watch the video on Instagram, that I click on the button, come through to the website and purchase. Not everyone does. Yes, a good percentage of your audience knows that, don't need to be told, but it doesn't hurt to tell the ones that already know, and it can help with the ones that aren't quite aware of that. So I would look to make it more clear. What have we got here? You know, filtered water on tap, click through to learn more, best tasting water guaranteed, got some information around the product, nice short primary text. Yeah, I think the call to action could be clearer, more specific. We have seen this over and over again. The clearer, more specific you make your ad creative, your call to action within your ad creative, typically the better results you get. Okay, but a good ad for the most part. Hyros is the best tracking and attribution software for meta ads. It's the software all the big players in this industry use, including myself. I use it to track results for my own ads, as well as all my organic results as well. So if someone books a call for our done-for-you services, for example, I can see exactly where that person came from with a lot of accuracy. That allows me to make better decisions for my marketing and my business. Hyros has been able to track that from our ad spend in this campaign, we've generated £96,000, but £58,000 of that was not reported by Meta. So if I was just looking at my data within my Meta ad account, I might come to the conclusion that this campaign is doing okay, but in reality, this campaign is doing a lot better. Now, this is a relatively extreme example because of the nature of our business. So most of our product services have recurring billing elements. Meta might be able to see what we make initially from our ad spend on that initial transaction, but not those subsequent payments. And that's why it shows the importance here of being able to accurately see what did we actually get from our ad spend in order to be able to make better decisions and optimize correctly. So if you want to improve the performance of your ad campaigns without having to touch your ads, go ahead and sign up to Hyros. There is a link in the video description. Okay, this next ad is from Babua Dutt. Right, so what are we advertising here? Electric scaffolding, small lifts with remote controls for changing lights, painting, roof repairs. Say goodbye to wobbly ladders, hello smooth, remote controlled elevation. Okay, so quite a specific product, relatively niche audience. Let's have a look at the ad.
Does anyone like this cheap electric scaffolding?
Electric scaffolding that can be used for construction sites and interior decoration has arrived. Wireless remote control operation
With a load capacity of 700 kilograms and a height of 2 to 30 meters? Tell me how high you want it and I will deliver it to your home. Does anyone like this cheap electric scaffolding?
Electric
Okay. There's a lot wrong with this. So firstly, you never want to start your ad or any sort of sales copy on a sales calls anywhere, anything by going, does anyone want this? Does anyone fancy this? It sounds so optional. You're almost asking that question, expecting people to say no. Not a good hook at all. Does anyone like, literally the caption says, does anyone like this? Say that again.
Does anyone like this cheap electric scaffolding?
It's not even, does anyone want this? Does anyone like this cheap electric scaffolding? The word cheap is not what you want to be using either. From a value proposition, cheap sounds poor quality. Now you can have something that's inexpensive or affordable, so that's a language change there. In fairness, I think there's a bit of a language barrier situation going on here. You can see that coming through in the words that are being said within this ad, but also you can hear it in the accent, right? Like it sounds like she's not a native English speaker. And I would recommend that if you're selling to an English market and you're selling in English, you are better off using a native English speaker, or at least someone who doesn't have an accent. Your ads will just perform better. There are a few rare occasions where the accent goes so well with the product. So I can think of certain products I've seen before where, so IKEA, for example, their ads that appear on TV and whatever in the UK, they'll have a Swedish accent. And that fits, right? Everyone knows that that's associated with the brand and that's absolutely fine. But most of the time, you're better off using a native English speaker. And then also you're better off making sure there's a native English speaker involved, because otherwise you end up with copy issues like, does anyone like this? Not how you'd want to phrase the opening to a video ad. You don't really want to use the word cheap. Some big issues there. So that's one thing.
Electric scaffolding that can be used for construction sites.
Okay, and then immediately go from that opening hook line to just very generic, sounds like AI generated corporate voice. Don't like that either. You could do so much better.
Sites and interior decoration has arrived. Wireless remote control operation.
It just doesn't sound properly like a person.
Load capacity of 700 kilograms.
And then we move back to her voice, the same person that started with the hook.
And a height of 2 to 30 meters. Tell me how high you want it, and I will deliver it to your home.
Tell me how high you want it, and I'll deliver it to your home. That's a bit strange in some ways. I'll deliver it to your home. I mean, that's a bit of a weird call to action, because I imagine the vast majority of the people that want to buy one of these, they are doing it for work purposes, whether they're a trade or a business that needs to do this. So it's probably more likely to be delivered to an office, a warehouse, or, the sort of location where it's likely to be used. Less likely to be someone's home. Could be, but less likely to be someone's home. Their use cases are just people being pulled up and down. I think that's fine to use in part, but much better to actually demonstrate the use cases. So much better to show, I don't know, if it's a roofer using it to go up, or if it's someone moving something within a warehouse, or if it's, actual use cases that people are going to use this product for. Someone needing to get up to cut a tree or a street light or whatever people actually use this for. I would demonstrate those instead, would be much better visuals.
Does anyone like this cheap electric scaffolding?
Electric scaffolding that can be used for construction sites and interior decoration has arrived.
Okay, construction sites, interior decoration, show that then. This is kind of random locations going up and down.
Wireless remote control operation.
With a load capacity of 700 kilograms.
Yeah, the switching between the two voices is odd. Some of the other things they mention is great, sure, include those features around the product.
And a height of 2 to 30 meters. Tell me how high you
2 to
want
30
it.
meters. Oh, so it can really go high. Oh, okay, fair enough. I misunderstood that a little bit. I thought it was up to 2 meters. So between 2 and 30 meters. So then the call to action makes a little bit more sense. Tell me how high you want it. We can deliver it. But again, that's just it's not, you could present that so much better. So you could say click through and check out our various options, and then some sort of offer, please. Special discount now, while stocks last, something to convince people to take action. The opening scene of that being really high is interesting, but again, I'd rather that was in a specific use case. And just that, I cannot tell you how much that opening line would kill you, would kill any ad. You could be selling the best product ever, and if you start it with this.
Does anyone like this cheap electric scaffolding?
Does anyone like this? Anyone fancy a bit? It's just going to kill it. And then combine it with the word cheap, and yeah, you're not off to a good start. So a lot that can be improved in this one. Okay, moving on to the next one. This is an ad from Surreal. which is high protein, low sugar cereal. I think I've heard of this brand actually, now it rings a bell, but not super familiar with what they do. Let's go through.
I thought something was wrong with my cereal order because I didn't pay for this bowl and spoon but somehow got them for free. But then I realised that they're actually giving them away for free, and all you have to do is subscribe to their delicious high protein, low sugar cereal. You'll get a quick delicious breakfast delivered to your door every 8 weeks. And because you also get 25% off, it works out at just 65p per bowl for 14 grams of protein. That's similar to a protein bar but around 3 times cheaper. You can change your flavours each order and you'll get exclusive access to limited editions. It's also super simple to pause, cancel or change your delivery dates. There's never been a better time to upgrade to protein cereal, and these taste just like your childhood favourites. So what are you waiting for? Get your bowl and spoon before they sell out again.
Okay, interesting. Right, quite a few things to unpack in that one. So it's coming from Surreal. It's not being run as a partnership ad. I would assume she's an influencer just by the style of that. It's like a UGC style, but just the way it's done is of a professional enough level, makes me think that she probably has an audience. When that's done, when you hire an influencer to create ad creative for you, which is I assume what's happened here, what Surreal have done, then you're normally better off running those as partnership ads. So it would appear from Surreal and then from the creator up here is where it's come from. She could maybe be even the CEO of the company or the founder, in which case it's less of an issue, but just something to note early on. The opening is interesting. It's what I would refer to as quite a high risk opening, because they're trying to be clever and they're doing something a little bit different. I like that if you've got a large audience of people that are already very familiar with your ads, and then mixing it up becomes more important. If you're pushing this out to cold audiences that haven't seen you before, often being a little bit clever like this doesn't land. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's play this.
I thought something was wrong with my cereal order because I didn't pay for this bowl and spoon, but
I thought something was wrong with my cereal order because I didn't pay for this bowl and spoon. If someone's no idea what cereal is, most of the reaction from most of those people is just going to be, whatever, scroll past. Again, assuming they don't know who she is. If they know who she is, then they might be more likely to stick around and find out what's going on. Because it's just taking too long to get to the point. Like, what is this? What is this about? Am I actually interested? No. So a high risk creative strategy for this particular piece of creative, sometimes they land really well. I'm not opposed to testing it. This, I imagine, will work well, particularly if there are lots of people who know who cereal is. I've heard of the brand, which makes me think it's likely that a lot of people do, or if they know who this person is within the ad itself, because those two things will hold the attention, and then mixing it up and being a bit different can be really good.
Got them for free, but then I realised that they're actually giving them away for free, and all you have to do is subscribe to their delicious high protein, low sugar cereal. You'll get a quick delicious...
Yeah, so it takes quite a long time to get to the part that this is, we're selling cereal here and they want you to subscribe to their cereal subscription offer. We're a good 10-12 seconds in before we get to that.
Just breakfast delivered to your door every 8 weeks. And because you also get 25% off, it works out at just 65p per bowl for 14 grams of protein. That's similar to a protein.
The editing is good, it's fast paced, we're jumping between stuff, holding people's interest. She's demonstrating a lot of emotion. For me, that can be a little bit over the top, these sorts of style ads, but I appreciate for a lot of particularly consumer brands that is more appropriate and acceptable. Emphasizing the benefits associated, right? So 14 grams of protein. She goes on to talk about 3 times cheaper than a protein bar, but the same amount of protein. So that's the value proposition there. How it works, change your flavors each order, exclusive access to limited editions. Again, that's the sort of phrase that you would make more to warm audiences than cold audiences.
It's also super simple to pause, cancel, or change your delivery.
Overcoming rejections, really simple to pause, cancel, or change delivery, and visuals going along with this are nice and fast paced at the same time.
Been a better time to upgrade to protein cereal, and these taste just like...
Never been a better time to upgrade to protein cereal. That's a nice positioning. You're not starting a new habit. You're just taking your existing cereal consumption and upgrading it to something better.
Get your bowl and spoon before they sell out again.
Get your bowl and spoon before they sell out again. So it's like a special promotion they're running where you get a free bowl and a free spoon. Again, if this is put in front of warm audiences, I'm happy with it. Cold audiences, I think that's likely to miss the mark. But this ad, in comparison to the previous two, does a much better job with that call to action, doesn't it? It's much clearer. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and do it now. Free bowl and spoon. While stocks last, we can see that's backed up in the headline. Shop now. It's just much clearer around what the offer is, whereas the other two were a little bit more vague, which I like. I think that the hook in this one is high risk, could well work. But it does a much better job at the end there. And just a quick reminder that my agency can create, manage, and optimize your meta ad campaigns for you. We can help with creative or any of the other elements that you need to get right to get the best possible meta ad results. If that sounds interesting, there is a link in the description below. You can click on that, come through to a page on our website, and book in a free call with one of my team members. Hopefully we get a chance to work together very soon. And if you want more content on me breaking down meta ad creative, go ahead and check out this video here, where I go through a wide range of different creative options, not just e-commerce businesses, although there are e-commerce businesses in there, including some ad creative that's not very good at all. Go ahead and give it a watch.